Welcome back to our SoCon Tip-Off Show, looking at Southern Conference women's basketball. And last but not least, presumably we've been going in alphabetical order, Jimmy Garrity of the Wofford Terriers. You're building yourself a nice little program there with Wofford. A couple of years ago, going 8-6 in the SoCon. First time Wofford had a winning conference record. Now here you are, coming off the first ever trip to the title game. And you faced a really good team in Mercer, hung with them for a while. I got to think your confidence level going into a season is as high as it's been since you took over at Wofford.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We feel good, and to where we've grown the program now, and with that growth comes expectations, and I think our players are up for that. And you're right. Growing the program and the seasons that we've had the past few years, and then last year had a really good year, and make it to the championship game up here in Asheville was. I think it was a growth for our players. And sometimes, year to year, that may not carry over, right, because you have a bunch of seniors that left that team. But I think we have a lot of seniors that were juniors last year coming back. And so I think it'll be really good for us to get a little bit of taste of that and hopefully grow and gain that experience of what it's like to get to that part.
We hear a lot about culture in team sports. 2 of the last 3 years, you had an overall winning record.
Yeah.
And when you had a winning record in 2019 overall, it's the first time since '02 for the program.
Yeah.
So you got a bunch of players in your program that know what it's like to go out and win games either in the league or outside of it.
Yeah, well, we're really proud of that, right? And we have, the locker room is so important of who you have in that locker room. And I just feel really confident and feel really good about who we have in there. They're a veteran bunch, and they're together. And, I thought this summer being able to, go to summer school and be together like we weren't last year, I think has really helped our growth in that togetherness too. So it'll be fun.
You'll miss Jamari McDavid. She moves on. She was a valuable player for you, especially on the inside. But in a conference where you have to have some good play in the post, Lily Hatton comes back. She can do a lot of things for you, but she has big numbers.
Yeah, she's one that can score it at all different levels too. She's a really good shooter from three and can bang on the inside. She's strong. She's got a really good IQ, and you know what? At the end of the day, she just plays really, really hard. But she's surrounded with some good players too. Lex is coming back and will add depth to that, and Lex is just one of those players that, just get your rebounds and all the dirty work and sets great screens and just gets stops and rebounds. And so, we feel really good about our inside game with those two.
Alexis Tomlin, again, unsung hero, but you look up and, her numbers last year, 6 points and about 5 rebounds a game, a lot of times off the bench, and just one of those players really good to turn to and get quality minutes out of.
Really key. Her and Lily are both team captains, too, were voted by her teammates, so you know how well thought of those both are. And she's right. You're right. She came off the bench last year, but just did all the little things. We chart things where we have points per minute. And, you look at that at the end of the day, man, we got to get her more minutes. She's points per minutes is over 1. And so we need her to play more minutes, and she's going to get a lot more this year.
It's a team that has, I think, really good depth at guard. And, again, this league has some good guards. Maybe you play a number out more than some others that you go against, sometimes just 1 post and 4 out. But Jackie Carmen, Nia Lutz, Aaliyah Harris, Helen Mathis have all been really good contributors for you.
They really have, and they bring different parts of their game. They all shoot it pretty well. Some shoot it a little bit better than others. Nia can really drive the ball and make tough contested shots that are kind of unconventional, but that's her game. Jackie's a really good shooter from the outside. You mentioned Helen too. Helen can score it at all 3 levels and is long and pretty good defender. Aaliyah did a fantastic job for us last year of, she's really not a point guard by nature, but we had to have her play that last year, and she just did a phenomenal job of running the team. So, I feel really good about our perimeter players, and we added some new ones too that will contribute to our depth. So I feel good about that.
Reagan Rapert and Sydney Ricchetto are perhaps 2 of those, each with some impressive. Reagan Rapert, 2,221 points in high school, but also 705 assists and 563 rebounds. So suffice it to say, not a one-dimensional player.
Yeah, she can really score it, but she's got great vision, and in transition, her vision has been really fun to watch. which, it rewards our post players for running the floor, and she does a great job of that. Her range on her shot is really, really good. She's really crafty. Basketball IQ is really high too. And defensively, she'll get up and guard you. She's a little bulldog out there too. So I think she's going to be have a really great career at Wofford.
And Sydney Ricchetto.
Yeah, Sydney Ricchetto is one of those players who's just tough as nails, right? And she can really shoot it, can shoot it off the bounce or catch and shoot. Just a high basketball IQ player that plays really, really hard. And, at the end of the day, I love it. My biggest compliment that after games and, we shake hands with the coaches and they say, God, Coach, your team plays really, really hard. And she's just one of those players fits that.
Now you've got a player who it's almost going to seem like she's a newcomer, Jeray Smith, had a really nice high school career for a very solid program at Woodmont High in Greenville County. Knee injury last year, so she wasn't available, but I would think that she's also going to infuse some scoring and some other good tangibles.
She is. Jeray got hurt before her senior year, so she was out of basketball for 2 years and had a couple of surgeries on that knee. And you know what? Her personality is off the charts, and she's so likable by her teammates. She gives us another dimension of speed and athleticism. And so we're just super excited to have her get on the court and really looking forward to the minutes played that she's going to get.
It's interesting, last year as a team, you were in the middle of the pack in most of the stat categories. Yeah. And again, you tend, I think, to play maybe more of a half-court style than a lot of teams do. But something that jumped off the page, in a league, as I mentioned, you've got one or two post players in about every team who are very effective, and yet you were first in offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting second chances. Yeah. That speaks to hard, scrappy play, in my opinion. And first in rebound margin. Yeah. And again, being able to recycle possessions is a very big metric for your program, isn't it?
No doubt. That won us some games. It really did. And we've never led in either one of those categories ever before, right? As a matter of fact, we were probably the bottom half or lower half. And last year, we talked about it. I mean, we talked about it every day. And it's funny, like you think rebounding drills. What rebound drill? We didn't do a single rebounding drill because, injuries. We've been plagued with injuries. But we talked about it, and it was a mindset to just go. When we watched film, we called it out. And so, Jamari was a big deal with that athleticism on her end, just going to get it. But at the end of the day, offensively, tell me, hey, if you just go, it's unbelievable how many times the ball just happens to bounce your way. So that's what we're trying. We're just trying to go and see what happens. So we'll need that same. If we can get that again this year, it'll be big for us.
Obviously, if you talked about the rebounding last year, that's obviously been a constant point in October practice. So as you would assess, getting ready for year number 6 now, as you would assess October practices with a roster that you fully recruited, and you had great buy-in from the players you inherited when you first got there, but has this October practice, coming off a near miss on this court and coming off the winning, just felt a little different? It
really has, and it feels really good. And I spoke about it a little bit earlier about who you have in that locker room. I love our kids. I love coaching them. I love being around them. They really enjoy each other. And I really believe that helps you win. That helps you win championships. And I think as good as we've been, we've grown in that category even more over the last year. And, our practices are really, really competitive. You only play 5 at a time. And but they've gone about it the right way and challenged each other the right way and been super, super, super coachable. And at the end of the day, we enjoy practice and getting in the gym, and then they're friends outside of basketball too.
Yeah. This was a conference where just a few years ago, before you got there, Wofford wasn't necessarily going to be mentioned as a contender for the league title. Yeah. And you've got some mighty tough folks. But again, I think this is a conference this year that can be at least 6 teams that, once you get here, can probably have a legitimate chance. And we shall see. Perhaps your team will be the group that is once again playing for the championship. Jimmy Garrity, so thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck to you in the season ahead.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Getting ready for year number 6 at Wofford. Got the Terriers to their first ever women's title game a year ago here in Asheville. So this concludes the women's part of our Southern Conference basketball tip-off show. We come back with the men. We've got 10 coaches to talk to as our program continues here at the Harrah's Cherokee Center.